Let's have a quick head count on the amount of times that the Liver King lied about being on steroids.
You know, my message never had anything to do with steroids.
Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Have legs?
Do you see how fucking little my fucking legs are? Do you take things? My answer has been the same because I've always told the truth.
Well, hey man, you're on steroids. This is a great compliment.
You know, face it head on. I don't touch this stuff. I've never done this stuff. I'm not gonna do this stuff. Which stuff? The ass full of steroids that he talks about.
You've never taken steroids?
Never taken steroids. I've never done PEDs other than prioritize, execute, and dominate.
The question has always been, do you take steroids? Do you take PEDs? The answer to that is no.
All these ridiculous accusations. People say I take PEDs.
Here we go.
I take PEDs.
Yeah?
I prioritize, execute, and dominate every fucking morning.
Liver King here. I do a movement snack, PEDs, ab implants, hair implants, all these subprimal accusations.
I'm okay with people talking about it, but I want people to know that right now the answer is no.
Also, just thought I'd let you in on another little piece of news. Water's wet and grass is green. And you too could look like a fucking meatball if you just slept on the ground and mashed liver down your pipe hole. Today, I'm going to be doing a slightly different YouTube video. Mainly because I just need to get a YouTube video this week and this is a pretty easy way to do it. And plus, there's been some pretty epic news in the fitness industry this week that the Liver King has finally been exposed. And plus, I did a day of the living like the Liver King not so long ago, which absolutely sucked balls.
What up, Primals? Coming from you deep. Coming from you deep. Coming deep within you.
I mean, who actually fucking believed that the Liver King wasn't actually on steroids in the first place? He's jacked out of his mind. He's got a belly like Blastoise. And this is one of the side effects of taking growth hormone, which he was taking thousands of dollars worth per month. I think it would roughly ended up being around $15,000 worth of steroids, performance-enhancing drugs, and other pharmaceuticals that he was jabbing into his ass. And just to credit Derek, more plates, more dates, who finally cunningly took the Liver King's master plan down. I'm not going to talk too much about the pharmaceuticals and dosages and stuff because Derek's done it way better than I ever could. So I'm going to be talking about definitely a slightly different side of things and my perspective on it and why I think there's a net negative to what the Liver King's done. But he's basically done the Italian job, hasn't he? He came, he conquered, he fucked shit up, he robbed a lot of people, and then he fucked off. Well, he certainly will be now that he's been cancelled, or potentially will be cancelled. I'm someone who in my early years actually blasted anabolic steroids to some degree, and I was messing around with them when I was in my early teen years and my early 20s, and I didn't really understand them. I was naive. I was fucking around with gear because other people were doing it. I was doing it because I wasn't growing at the rate that I thought I would. I was training hard, I was eating well, I was supplementing. And it was through seeing figures like the Liver King, probably not so much on social media, a little bit of YouTube, mainly in magazines, of guys who would literally pop like a grape if they got a paper cut because they were so lean and they had to walk through doors sideways because they were so jacked. And it was these kind of guys who claim natural that I then looked at and was like, fuck, why aren't I growing the way that they would? Why aren't I the same size? Because I'm putting the same effort. When you see these guys like the Liver King who claim to be natural, it then puts pressure on other guys that this is the standard of what you can look like natural. And then it puts a lot of pressure and a lot of stigma on those people, i.e. me when I was a young kid, who then looked at myself and blamed myself for the way that I looked. Like it was my fault. I was at blame. I was the failure, and it makes you then look at yourself internally. But we look at things, especially for other males out there and other guys who go to the gym. I want you to know that probably 80, even 90% of guys who go to the gym who look jacked are probably taking gear. In fact, even probably most people you see, especially in the bodybuilding industry and extreme fitness, have took gear at some point. Even I will have a natural advantage to someone who's never taken gear before, even if I never took gear ever again in my entire life, because I've had that passage within my life where I took gear. I took anabolic steroids, and for that period, it helped me grow at a much quicker rate and recover at a quicker rate than I ever could do naturally. So it gives me that natural advantage on anyone else for the rest of the time. So never compare yourself even to someone like me. My biggest pet peeve here isn't even that the Liver King took gear. Like, do what you want to do. It's your body. Slam yourself with enough gear to create another version of yourself. And if you don't fucking talk about it, that's fine. But don't deny it and then claim to be something that you're not. I know loads of people who are within the fitness industry who take performance-enhancing drugs, get on with their shit and just don't talk about it, but they don't claim to be natural. And for me, that is fine. But then if you're claiming natty and that you're natural and you just built this physique off the 9 ancestral tenets, and then you're then selling product off a fake or false representation of what you can achieve, then that's pond scum to me. That's lowest of the low. That's making millions of pounds off manipulating other people. People had to be fucking stupid to believe that this guy wasn't taking stuff. And I guess at one point I was, because I was naive to it too. But I want guys to remember that this isn't the baseline. This isn't a standard of what you should be looking up to as this guy smacked off his tits on pharmaceuticals. It's like the equivalent to when women, for example, look at other women who have had boob jobs, Botox, plastic surgery, and then these women lie about it, and then it creates insecurities for other women who look the way that they should. They look beautiful, they look natural, but then they then hold this up as a standard of, right, this is what I should look like. This is what I should internalize. I even think that's sleazy. I think there should be some governance of these Z or A-list celebrities who are going out getting box jobs and then saying, it's just all natural, it's all me. I'm not saying also that some of the Liver King's messages weren't potentially helpful for some young males, but we've got to look again at net negative versus net positive, and the fact that he was blasting loads of gear, he was selling products off the back of it, he was scaremongering people around food, and also he denied the biggest thing of all, the truth. And this isn't even something new that Liver King's done. People have been doing this in the fitness industry for years. They've been pumping up their bodies, filling it with anabolic steroids, and then selling other brands supplements, proteins, creatines off the back of it. The difference was Liver King was a bit more business savvy and created his own brand off it and then sold the products off the back of it. I even had a contract with a supplement company once that specifically said that there wasn't going to be any steroids or performance enhancing drugs testing, but never to talk about it in public, i.e. gear usage. The other thing that must have been really difficult for Brian or Liver King is that every day you must have been living a double life. I mean, I remember once when I stole a £5 from my mum's purse when I was younger and lied about it for a week, and I felt like my heart was going to fall out my arse because I was that anxious and stressed about it. So God knows what this guy wakes up to every single day. I mean, even if we look at this guy's social media page today, he hasn't even addressed the fact that he's taken anabolic steroids or performance enhancing drugs. He just put a post up again about eating liver, and to be honest, his engagement's probably even better now that people are talking about it. It's that whole Snow White effect. And if you look through the comments of tons of people, it's really sad to see, because a lot of people who are his believers, his followers, are not only pissed off, they're genuinely upset and out of pocket, obviously. I believe, however, though, fitness has moved on quite a lot over the last couple of years. And we have great people like Derek. I even had a conversation with Greg Doucette on a podcast.
Do you think that we are heading into a more positive space in terms of it being less underground and being spoken about more?
I think that in years to come, people will look back and be like, I can't believe people judged people who are on HRT so poorly or so harshly.
A couple of weeks or months ago, talking about celebrities and bigger figures openly talking about steroids, because then it squashes the standard and baseline that people think they should meet. And it also creates an environment where people don't have to be in the dark and move around and talk about it, because again, like I said, there's probably more people taking steroids than you actually think. I would love to get your guys' views on this topic, the Liver King, performance enhancing drugs. I know this was a different type of video. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, please drop the video a like, drop any comments below, and please subscribe. I haven't got the outro bit on the music for my edit, so just click one of these and watch one of the other videos because it really helps me.